Good morning. Here is today's word of blessings for you. Nehemiah 6:10-14. One day I went to the house of Shemaiah son of Delaiah, the son of Mehetabel, who was shut in at his home. He said, "Let us meet in the house of God, inside the temple, and let us close the temple doors, because men are coming to kill you, by night they are coming to kill you." But I said, "Should a man like me run away? Or should someone like me go into the temple to save his life? I will not go." I realized that God had not sent him, but that he had prophesied against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. He had been hired to intimidate me so that I would commit a sin by doing this, and then they would give me a bad name to discredit me. Remember Tobiah and Sanballat, my God, because of what they have done. Remember also the prophet Noadiah and how she and the rest of the prophets have been trying to intimidate me. Today's title is No Intimidation. Are some people born to be leaders? Or are leaders made? People can argue for either position. One can argue, some people reveal their leadership potential from early childhood. Those people must be born to be leaders. But there are many leaders who didn't show any noticeable leadership potential until they are fully grown up, but later become great leaders after going through the significant learning process. Others will argue. What do you think? I am sure that each argument has some merits. But none of these arguments can explain the mystery of leadership consistently. What can the Bible say about the same question? To me, the Bible seems to say that leaders are neither born nor made. Leaders are called and sent. What do you think? To some, this view may not explain fully about the leaders either. But I am sure that most Bible lovers will agree. Nehemiah was not born as a leader. He wasn't trained to become a leader. He was just a cupbearer at the palace. But God called him to lead the rebuilding of the wall of Jerusalem and sent him. We see many spiritual leaders called only by the sovereign will of God in the Bible. For example, Amos was just a shepherd and a farmer of fig trees before he was called to declare God's message to a nation that had forgotten its spiritual roots. But when God called a person, he supplies them with leadership qualities needed for the mission. One of the most essential leadership qualities that God supplies to the called servant is courage. Each spiritual leader has a different style and different ways of serving God. But there was no spiritual leader who lacked courage. Knowing that God who has called and sent them will be with them forever, they have no reason to be timid whatsoever. The enemies of the Lord tried to intimidate Nehemiah. They tried to make him fearful and run away or go hiding. Nehemiah knew their scheme and boldly declined the intimidation, saying, "Should a man like me run away? Or should someone like me go into the temple to save his life? I will not go." This is the same confession of Esther, who dared to come before the king at the risk of her own life, saying, "If I perish, I perish." Intimidation is one of the devil's most lethal weapons. What intimidates you most? How easily are you intimidated? Are you walking with God in your daily life? Has God called you and sent you where you are? Then, don't fall into the devil's intimidation. You are in God's hand and under his wing. Take courage.